I want to show you how to use the SafePay functionality in Dynamics GP. It's really pretty simple. There's a simple setup you need to do. You need to do a configuration to match Dynamics GP to the file your bank expects. And then once you've done that, all you do is run the normal accounts payable process. It will automatically create the SafePay file for you that you then send to your bank. The bank uses that to validate all checks coming in against your account. So let's get started. Probably the hardest thing to do is find out where it is. Actually, if you go to the financial area page and then go to routines, there should be a SafePay option down here. So let's take a look at the configurator first. This is where I'm going to configure the file that's going to be created from the SafePay process. Now, Wells Fargo has a pretty easy format to follow. In fact, here it is. It's basically just a two-pager, and there's four types of records. There's a transmission header record, there's a file header record, there's a detail, and a trailing record. On this simple format, you can see I've got the field names listed here. I've got the types of values that are there, the length of them, and then some additional information about those values. In this case, Wells Fargo is looking for a fixed file format, so let's take a look at how we do that in Dynamics GP. Here's the one I've set up already. You can see I've got the four different record types. Let's take a look at the detail. When I open up the detail, I see that I've got 7 different fields. Let's just take a look at those fields. Now, some of these fields, most of them I'm pulling in from Dynamics themselves. Here's the check number. I can scroll through that. You can see I've got the date there, the account number, transaction type, which is actually based on the transaction codes that I'm going to send to Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo is looking for a check. They want to see a code here of 320, a void. They want to see 430. So I set those up using this little code entry piece up here. I've got the dollar amounts of the checks and some additional information. The payee, for example, I can add additional information if I wanted to. So this is the detail line. The other lines are fairly similar. So let's take a look at it in action. So I've put together a little payment batch here, and I've got 3 items on here. And I go through the normal process. I'm going to print these checks. And when I do that, it's going to create the SafePay file in conjunction with this process. So let's just go ahead and print these checks. And once they're printed and they're okay, I'm just going to hit process. Once the check run's done, I create the file. I'll go back to the financial area page under the SafePay area and go to transactions upload. And here I'll look up a bank upload ID. I created this earlier, and it's very simple. It's basically tying the checkbook to some information about the bank. You can see that right here. Once I've got that identified, I'm just going to hit load, reload transactions. It's going to load the new transactions to include in the SafePay file. I'm going to hit upload. It's going to create the file. And then if I send this file to my bank with an application from my bank, so I just enter the confirmation number there. Here's a report from GP that shows me the checks that are included in that SafePay file. Let's look at the file itself. And here's the file, and it matches the format that we set up. This is a pretty easy way to create the SafePay file that you then send to your bank so the bank can use that to validate checks that are being processed against your account. So if you're looking for some added security in your business, you should take a look at SafePay.